Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, TFPrime here with my next YouTube video, and this is going to be my second Transformers Prime Beast Hunters review, and it's going to be episode 2, so 302, and the title of the episode is Scattered. But just before I get into that, just a quick update on my channel. As far as I know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon is back next week, well this week basically. So I will have a review of that new episode out on probably Monday, and I'll try and maybe get the Transformers Prime review for this week out next, no, I'm really confused, on Sunday, so I'll just have a kind of an extra video since the two shows are airing at the same time. Transformers Prime is going to air up to episode 4 and then take a break. I'm not sure how long that break is going to be. And as far as I know, Turtles is going to air at least up until episode 22, but more than likely until the end of the season. So it probably works out well that I probably won't have too many weeks of doing two TV show reviews. But anyway, Scattered. Overall, I absolutely loved this episode. I thought it was a really good second part to this kind of opening 4-parter of season 3. Improved on episode 1 so much, in so many ways. It was really good, had more action, had more characterization, had big reveals and stuff like that. An excellent second part, definitely. So getting into some of the more details of the episode, I'll start as I did last week with Smokescreen and Optimus. They probably have the shortest part of the episode, like in terms of like a separate story together, and it's pretty much just the one scene where basically they talk about Smokescreen come back from their base and he couldn't find anything medical to help patch Optimus up. Optimus still believes he's dying, he's lost hope, and just like one of those things like, why has he lost hope? Why has Optimus Prime lost hope? And you then realise that, oh, it's because he's destroyed the Omega Lock. That's why he's lost so much hope, that his planet is doomed because of his actions. He may have saved the Earth, but he kind of doomed Cybertron to always being this lifeless husk of a planet, and that's why he feels that way, as well as the fact that he's dying as well. And then, because he can't find it, and then Optimus says the Forge of Soulless Prime, and you just wonder, like, oh, is he saying that because he wants the Forge to fix him? Or does he want the Forge to like do something like repair the Omega Lock? Because we know it can pretty much repair anything. If it repaired the Star Saber, the Space Bridge, it can probably repair the Omega Lock too. So it's one of those things where he's either thinking about himself as the leader of the Autobots or thinking about the planet, and that's what he wants kind of Smokescreen to get. Smokescreen thinking just about like what's there in front of him, that being Optimus dying and that he can fix it. So it's definitely one of those interesting things, but again, if Optimus dies, like, he's going to have to appoint a new Prime, and that Prime's going to have to fix the Omega Lock. And, if Smokescreen decides that it's Optimus who needs to be fixed, what's he going to do? Like, they don't have any spare materials to do it. It's going to be, like, a really interesting thing going forward. And we don't even find out if he gets the Forge of Souls, probably just leaves to hopefully get it. But because Smokescreen's been successful in the past at kind of infiltrating the ship, we assume it's going to work out. Going to the RC Jack part of the episode, it's again, they had the kind of their action moments in the first episode, and in this one they have a bit more calm moments where they the two bond over the fact that they're scattered and they really don't know what to do to get back with the rest of the Team Prime. And then they, at the kind of near the end of the episode, they run into a Cybertronian ship landing, and who comes out? None other than Ultra Magnus, one of the commanders of the Autobot army. Like, pretty much, it's not confirmed, but basically second in command of the Autobots in a way. And I don't know if they're going to specifically state it in the series, but I'm pretty sure Ultra Magnus is the leader of the Wreckers in Prime, but they haven't said that yet. So I'm not sure what they're going to do with that. I think he may just be a commander in the Autobot army. But anyway, we don't get much on him. It's just like a reveal, like kind of Shockwave was at the end of last episode. So that's a nice reveal to have, that they have these character reveals happening all the time. And it was a good part of the episode just to show that they did focus a bit on all of the teams. Um, Bumblebee and Raph get a bit more focus in this episode, in that there some great continuity, I suppose, of them. Raph searching the internet, these conspiracy websites for stuff about the Transformers, and he just like and then he comes across this picture of Ratchet in this kind of junkyard, and at the same time Starscream comes across the picture on the internet, which is another great bit of continuity, that Starscream uses the internet, because and then the whole dancing monkey thing with the Starscream thing, it was just a really funny moment where he's just going, "Hey Megatron, look what I found," and then it's the dancing monkey, and then you get that amazing moment where Megatron goes, "Why don't you be more like Soundwave and keep your mouth shut?" And then Starscream just mutters to himself, just "Vow of silence, cop out." And that line is just an amazing reference to the fandom, as well as kind of this fourth wall thing of just that he's like, one, it's confirming to us that Soundwave can talk if he wants to, but he chooses not to. It's a vow of silence. And then the whole cop-out thing is just like, that's what the fandom says about pretty much mainly Bumblebee, the fact that Bumblebee can't speak, that they just don't want to hire a voice actor to cop out. And so that was a brilliant line. And then obviously Bumblebee and Raph find Ratchet, and you get this really interesting moment, because it continues Ratchet's personality on from the way he was last season. He was very angry at what Optimus had to do to save Earth, and what he had to do to the Omega Lock, and he has lost all hope. But because of his character, kind of his grumpy older character, he is very kind of just like, I just want to stay here and rust in peace, like live out the rest of my life here, doing nothing. We've lost. There's no hope. And it's interesting that, like, Raph, because Bumblebee can't speak, and it wouldn't make much sense, I suppose, in the scheme of the series for Bumblebee to start beeping at all over the place at Ratchet to defend it. It's Raph who's kind of the one to do this, and because Raph has kind of had this kind of dual partnership, I suppose, with Bumblebee, but also with Ratchet as well, because they're the kind of two science guys on the team. He's the one to say it to Ratchet that, you know, we can't give up now. We can find the space bridge that Starscream's been using, and then the nice reference from Ratchet, because I don't think the Autobots have really known for sure where Starscream's been, but then Ratchet just says, "Yeah, of course he's been using this place, the derelict Decepticon ship," and then he decides he wants to be left alone, and he's given up hope. And then obviously the Bumblebee and Ratchet go find the space bridge, and but Bumblebee and Raph, I keep mixing up Raph and Ratchet, but and then Ratchet eventually comes along because he realizes this is it. You get the sense that he realizes, oh, they're going to mess up something with the space bridge, I need to be there. But the fact that Raph has kind of gotten truth here in a way as well. So I really did like it. I've been saying it about pretty much every part of the episode, but I think the episode was actually that good. It was a really, really solid episode. And you know, it sets up they have a space bridge now, so much of the team can now reconnect, and it's just all a matter of like who can connect with who. And because RC has found Ultra Magnus, who has a ship, and because they now have a space bridge, maybe they can pinpoint the location of the ship, and you'll have that set of characters kind of coming together. That's going to be an interesting thing. They haven't really shown it yet, but moving on, I suppose Wheeljack, Miko and Bulkhead have their kind of own section of the episode. It starts off with this focus on Wheeljack being captured, and then he's about to be executed. He doesn't know where the rest of the team are, because he didn't. He just can't tell them. So he's about to be executed because he's basically useless. So you have this amazing escape scene where he just uses the fact that you're a flyer, and then throws the guy off. He knows to save himself that the Viacons are going to transform, so jumps down too, lands on top of him, and there's this amazing dogfight where, you know, Wheeljack's just riding this Viacon, taking out the other Viacons, and then gets away. And then in the background you have the fact that Starscream planted a kind of tracking beacon in Wheeljack, so he knows where they are. But Wheeljack knows about it already. And then he meets back up with Bulkhead and Miko, who had been waiting for Wheeljack, because they're the whole Wrecker thing going on, that they already have this plan in place that if they're ever lost in this sort of a situation, they'll meet up at this point, and they're beginning to lose hope that like if he's alive he'll show up, but is he alive? And you definitely get the sense of how close those three have gotten. Like episodes like Hurt, where Wheeljack and Miko really bonded, and he considers her an honorary wrecker now, and obviously Miko and Bulkhead have a really great relationship too. So then Wheeljack comes back, and you have that really good moment of just like, so take it we're the only three wreckers around here, and then she's just like, yes, let's do some damage, and it's just, yes, these three are going to do some damage. It's just a really good moment, and then the plan is just a perfect wrecker plan, and perfect for Wheeljack, because using those grenades again, it's brilliant. Just the whole thing of like the Viacons in this opening four-parter seem to be getting ruined. Just that they're waiting for this tracking beacon to come down the river, and they're just looking at it, it's just like, it's just a log, what is it? And they see like the tracking beacon on it with the grenade, and it's like, grenade, and then boom, they just all explode as their three Autobots, kind of Miko watching on, boom. Really good moment, nice action moment, part of the episode. That was probably the best action stuff. Wheeljack escaping, and then the tension of that moment where like, oh, does Wheeljack know he's has a tracking beacon on him? But then they knew in advance, and it kind of shows how smart Wheeljack is, because in the episode from season 2, Triage, he also had like clever moments as well. I'm gonna Ratchet. But I'm pretty sure that's all of the Autobots I've done covered. So all that's left is really the Decepticons now in the episode. And the highlight of this episode for me, the best part of this episode, is the Starscream and Shockwave interaction. It's just absolutely perfect, and the way Megatron's kind of involved but not really involved in it, because basically what happens is that he promotes Soundwave to First Lieutenant as well as Starscream. Just Starscream's more on the military side of things, and Shockwave is more on the scientific side of things. So they're basically just, they have an equal rank. They don't outrank each other, they just have the same rank below Megatron. And it then starts off this thing of the two trying to outdo each other. But before that, you also have the thing of the fact that there's history between those two, and that Shockwave left Starscream left Shockwave for dead, basically. But because of the way Shockwave is, he's very logical. Starscream's explanation of, you never came out of the space bridge, what did you expect? He just goes, that is logical, and leaves it. And that was a funny moment, because it wasn't the typical like henchman rivalry thing of like they're about to fight each other. In this case, it's just that they really want to outdo each other and become #1 in Megatron's books, but they're not going to fight each other because they know Megatron is going to take down both of them. And they just want to do his bidding because Megatron is the leader. And that's what made this episode so fun, because there was never that, you never expected that to happen, that they were just about to fight each other, because Starscream is a bit of a coward, but at the same time he has all this cruelty and he's pretty clever. And then Shockwave is obviously super clever. And then the whole thing of them outdoing each other, like the Starscream messes up with the internet thing, Shockwave's cortical psychic patch fails, and he doesn't get anything. Then Starscream one-ups him with the plant of the tracking beacon. It fails, and then the big reveal at the end, obviously, of the Shockwave brings out the Predacons, Predaking, who he's been working on for a while. And I suppose just that flashback of how Shockwave escaped was really interesting. That he was blind, he was left on his own, managed to repair himself, and in the spare time managed to recreate a Predacon. It was just amazing, and all of this kind of links in heavily to the Transformers Prime comic Rage of the Dinobots, so check that out if you can. The trade is coming out in a few months, I think, all 4 issues together, and it definitely links into it, because at the end of that series Ultra Magnus leaves on the ship, and we assume that same ship comes directly to Earth, as we see in this episode. As well as that, you have some moments with Shockwave, but I don't think that story's been fully told yet. There's still another series, Transformers Prime Beast Hunters comic, to come out, so that's going to link in too. But yeah, it's just the interaction between the two was absolutely perfect because, as I said, that kind of whole cop out moment of Silas cop out, and then how he Starscream just in the background, just like, oh, First Lieutenant Shockwave, what are you doing? It was perfect. Starscream was like facial animation and the way his wings kind of go up and down to show his emotions as well was really good. And then Shockwave not really being able to show emotion, yet just that giant eye, just you kind of know what he's thinking the whole time. And obviously, just in the background, you have the at the end of the episode, obviously the reveal of Predaking and this huge dragon transformer thing that's from the past. This it's set up that the Predacons are these ancient beings that once inhabited Cybertron. They're basically like the Earth equivalent of dinosaurs. They inhabited the planet before Autobots and Decepticons kind of did the bipedal, basically, Transformers. Um, and just the setup of like this is the ultimate Transformer hunter. These guys are going to track down the Autobots instantly, and even Megatron's a bit like, this thing's huge. What have you done, Shockwave? A bit, but yeah, Shockwave obviously has him under control. He's confident enough, logic and all that. So I think I've pretty much covered the whole episode. I'm struggling to remember now if June and Agent Fowler really had a moment in this episode. They might have had one, but I think it wasn't really needed that much. I think it was a pretty close to perfect episode, and I don't really have much of anything bad to say about it. I'm just really looking for episode 3, which is called Prey, which is coming next week, and then obviously really excited to see how the 4-parter ends. I think definitely the big setup is about the fact that we kind of all know that Optimus is going to come back in some form or another. He looks different in his toy. I'm not going to spoil anything more than that. He has a new toy out. If you're in America, you've probably seen it on the shelves. It's an Optimus Prime toy. He looks very different. How's that going to come about? That's the big thing kind of everyone's looking forward to. And yeah, so thank you for watching this review, and bye.